Same old stool, same old chrome and shatter. Coat on the hook like it doesn't even matter. Door swings wide and the night just steps aside when that first cup smiles at me. Morning brew at Tommy Sticks, where the troubles come in small and the dreams pour out in big. Sugar on the counter, laughs floating over the rugged. Life feels large and lovely from a little porcelain mug. Frank on the box, humming low in the corner. Steam writes my name on the glass by the order. Jokes with the boss about yesterday's close call. He says, kid, you made it, you're here, that's all. Morning brew at Tommy Sticks, where the worries shrink to crumbs on the plate beside the figs. Stories in the sunlight, stirring slow with every shrug, yeah. Life feels large and lovely from a little porcelain mug. Out on the avenue, they chase their noon. I got time on a spoon and a second cup too. Oh yeah, if the world goes fast, let it pass, let it spin.
Let it spin, baby.
I'll be right here
Every day.
where my day begins.
100%.
Morning brew
Every
at
day.
Tommy Sticks, where the city takes a breath and the heart learns gentle gigs, quiet conversation, and a wink, a nod, a shrug, yeah. Life feels large and lovely from a little porcelain mug. Just me and my view, and that first sip, cool and new. Another beautiful day.
All right,
coming
guys.
up
It's a beautiful day.
from a little porcelain.
Of course, it's going to be a beautiful day. And turn it off. Let's go around. How can it not be a great day? I got the best group and the best crew around. Hello there, McGee.
Sweet Tea, good morning. Daniel Berry, good morning. Hope you guys are doing good. No show today, guys. We're just going to play Tommy's show and count how many songs he has.
Delilah, I see you, Delilah. Oh, Sodded Treats. What's happening out there, kiddo? Let me put back Bonnie Raitt. That's who we're talking about today. Where are you, Miss Bonnie Raitt? Let's get rid of the that ticker. News program. And he says, Tommy Stiggs, I want to talk to you about Belleville. I said, what do you want to do? Your show, my show. He says, let's do it on your show.
Niccolo Machiavelli. I step Christian songs, faithful lives we've told for our heart. To mystis Catholic menu.
I mean, it's basically the Italian MTV music channel now. The Catholic Minute, the Machiavelli Minute, whoever he's showcasing minute, the intro song, the coffee song, the sweet tea song she made, the little music he plays in the beginning of the show, Sarah Collins, that guy at the end. I mean, it's just all music. At this point, Tommy, you're just one sheet of music. What college are you guys going to for orientation, Sweet Tea? University of North Carolina? I went to Western Washington University for 2 quarters, and I dropped out of there and went to a community college. And then I dropped out of there. UNC, nice. UNC Charlotte, that's awesome. Local, cool. That's always fun. It's interesting that the orientation is in June. Wouldn't normally orientation be in September? That's when I went to my orientation. Unless did you start for the summer? Let me see here. Let's play a song. Do 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 do. Let's see here. Trumpet older than you. Yeah, I thought it would be 2, but they can't register for classes until they complete orientation. Huh. Interesting. For my orientation, I had to drive like 3.5 hours, I think it took to get there. Something like that. Up to Bellingham. Drove there and drove back in the same day. I think. I might have stayed the night up there. No, I don't think so. I wish I would have stayed up there. That was a lot of fun up there in Western. Too expensive, though. Your second daughter's on the OSADA plan. College isn't for her. Yeah. Yeah, it's not for everybody. And it's so damn expensive. And then, look at what happened. Look at what has happened to some of the industries. Like a few years ago, they were telling truckers, because they were starting to automate the trucking industry, just learn to code. That's what they were telling truckers when my buddy first started driving truck. Learn to code. Well, that don't even work anymore, because coding, there's no need for a coder, because AI can code. That's like one of the main jobs of AI is to code for people. So you really got to, I guess you just got to kind of have a plan of what it is you want to do. I didn't have a plan. That was my problem. I didn't have a plan, and I already had a job lined up that I wanted to work at. I wanted to work at a bingo hall, believe it or not. How stupid is that? Because my best friend's mom and dad were working at a bingo hall. and they were making big money in a game called Speed Bingo. This was before the casinos came along in Washington. And I was like, man, forget this nonsense. I'm gonna go start making some money. So I dropped out, went back home, went to community college and started working at the bingo hall, and then dropped out of the community college shortly after that. Trock, what's going on? I'm listening while I'm trying to sleep. Why so early, Osada? We go to bed early and we get up early around here. I was in bed, I think, before 8 o'clock last night. I've already been up and baked some strawberry shortcakes. I was going to bake a cake too, but I decided not to. Dip some strawberries, make my strawberry shortcakes. I got to package up some chocolate peanuts and go out and sell for a few hours today. Having a plan is good. Yeah, it's hard though. You know, a lot of people, it's like you just don't really know. You know, I had no clue what I wanted to do, you know, and it wasn't until I was, let's see here, that was 98. So I was 25. I was 25 when I first tried vending for the first time. We did egg rolls for a fireworks stand. It was 13 days. We sold 3,000 egg rolls. I had a bunch of people working in my stand, and it's my first time doing anything like that. But I knew then when I was 25 that was my retirement plan. I really didn't give a shit what was going to happen after that. I don't. It was weird. I knew I was going to be a vendor. It took me a while to get there, and I should have fucking just kept vending the whole time. I would have been way better off now than if from the stupid shit I did. And not knowing is okay. Yeah, you know, I mean, so you were always interested in food? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because see, my ex, we got together. I was 20, she was 18, and she was a very good cook, even at a young age. She had a Korean stepmom, and she's Thai, half Thai. So she was just naturally a very good cook, and she wanted to get into making cakes and doing catering kind of for people, even at 18. So actually, let's see here. She would have been, 19, probably 19 at that time. But anyway, I bought her the big old tackle box in-home catering service. And she started making cakes and wedding cakes and all kinds of stuff. She was good at it like immediately. So I watched her, and then, the egg roll thing just kind of, we started making egg rolls and bringing them into work. And then people were asking us if they could buy them. So before work, I would make a bunch of egg rolls and freeze them and sell frozen dozens of egg rolls to people at work. That's what gave me the idea to do it for the fireworks stand. But the fireworks stand it's a 2-hour drive. So I bought a freezer, rented a U-Haul truck, and it was very stressful to make an $800 profit for 13 days after I paid everybody. And, so, but yeah, now I got it down to a science, and I haven't even begun to, if it just keeps going the way it's going, who knows how it's going to end up. Maybe I'll have my own market one day. That is my plan, actually, start my own farmer's market. I don't know where, I don't know when, but I want to. 5 a.m., Jesus, 5 a.m., frig my life. Right, Trock? Yeah, I seen you were playing poker yesterday for a second, but that was right when I went to bed. And I got up at my sleep schedule is weird. I got up at I don't know, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, a little bit before that. But I'll go back to bed for a couple hours before I go out and sell. Are you a good poker player, Trock? My buddy Brian and I keep talking about playing in a poker tournament. He's a poker dealer in Arizona, and Arizona has really good poker tournaments. Actually, a lot of action down there in Arizona. There's a lot of money. He works at there's like 3 casinos that are really close to each other, and they all have huge poker rooms. You know, the buy-in's going to be anywhere from $50 to well over $1,000, depending on which tournament you get in. I used to play a lot of poker. I don't play poker anymore. I haven't played in years. You're okay? Yeah. The problem with, like, if it's straight up legit poker, I'm pretty confident in my poker skills until you get to a certain level. There's a certain level of a player that I just can't compete against in poker. But the average player I can beat. I don't trust casinos at all. I'm not saying all of them, but the big ones, I guarantee there's people cheating in those casinos. 100%. They've already busted people in the past for some of the ways that they got busted cheating, and even in the last year, was an X-ray machine built into the table that where somebody was wearing glasses could see everybody's cards at the table, because there's some type of X-ray, gamma ray fucking machine built into the table itself. Then you got the electronic shuffling machines. Don't trust those. Those can be hacked. It's just so many variables. I don't trust online poker either. That's completely compromised as well. You might be able to win at the low level games. Everything is rigged these days. We play for fun. That's good. I don't gamble anymore, but online is fun, I guess. Yeah, even that can be a little addicting. Salute Chow for now, and yes, they are fixed for sure. The house always wins. Yes, the house always wins. Yeah, you need to get some sleep, Trock. Get some sleep and start the day fresh. What is today? Wednesday, right? The 17th, halfway through the month. Juneteenth is on Friday. What the fuck is Juneteenth? I'm so sick of that bullshit. They got this dude. I got a guy I went to high school with, and he puts on a concert every year here in Tacoma. Juneteenth, the road to economic freedom. It's just an all black concert with a bunch of vendors. He's going to have 160 vendors and food trucks, and it's a pretty sizable event. But what does that mean? Juneteenth, road to economic freedom. What the fuck is that? When I hear somebody say road to economic freedom, I think of handouts. I think of socialism. I think of the welfare department. I think of, I don't want to fucking work. Just give me. I deserve this. I'm entitled. My auntie and uncle and my grandfather were treated poorly by your grandfather. Get the fuck out of here with this already. You should capitalize on the holiday and sell Juneteenth products. Yeah, but what is Juneteenth, sweet tea? That's the problem. You know, it's like every fiber in my body says, fuck Juneteenth. Number one, they ruined it because they they covered it in the pride nonsense with all the gay pride. And this year it looks like they kind of separated themselves from that. But at the same time, man, I'm not built that way. If I could bring myself to go down there simply for money, I would. I'd be back doing powwows and fireworks. I'd be back doing the fireworks stands and the powwows. I just know that I just have my business has a different calling than that. I don't know what it is. It's just I'm better than that. I hate to say that, but I am. Trot, go get some sleep, buddy. You're up all night holding pocket aces, trying to chase people down to the river. Want to see the flop. You know what I mean? Playing sheriff, being a call station. I know all the poker terms. Okay. You know what a call station is? You know what playing sheriff means? You know what UTG is, under the gun? You know what a straddle bet is? Do you know how to play like Raz or 7-card stud or Omaha, pot limit Omaha, high-low split? To play that game is hard enough. To learn how to deal that game, impossible. My buddy Brian's one of the few people that can fucking deal shit like that. You got to be a fucking mathematician to fucking deal pot limit Omaha, high-low split. Omaha, you get 4 cards in your hand as opposed to 2 like Texas Hold'em. But you can only play 2 cards. You still get the 5 on the board. You can only play 2 cards, and then high-low split, you have the high hand and the low hand if a low hand is possible. And then the betting structure is pot limit. So the bets are, you have to remember what the last bet was, what the pot size is. It's not easy. I wouldn't want to do it. That's for damn sure. Oh, we're back down to one viewer. I think Trock finally fell asleep. He's all in. He's on his pillow right now, dreaming about going, I'm all in. He's dreaming that he's at the World Series of Poker right now, going up against Sammy Farha. Yeah, I used to play poker online all the time. Haven't done it for years. I can't do it. All right, what do we got going on today? Apparently, the waters of the Pacific are warming up from the El Nino, which is causing shark attacks.
Sharks in the water. There you go. El Nino has warmed up the Pacific, and now sharks are showing up all over the coasts. One made it to a naval base in Florida. Help! 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 The victim, a civilian staffer on base, went for a swim during lunch, and then ouch. His doctors say he's in critical condition, but he'll live. Sharks aren't just biting swimmers. Out in Hawaii, a surfer was catching some waves until an 8-footer tasted his leg.
I think they said it's like a 10-inch open wound. Yeah, it's pretty much most of the side of my left leg is wide open. I may not surf that spot by myself at sunrise, but other than that, no, I'm getting back in the water as soon as I can.
Sharks are popping up all over, like this great white in Cape Cod. Some swimmers have had enough and are taking matters into their own hands. Fishermen gave this shark in Nantucket an attitude adjustment. Sharks are beautiful creatures, but this summer could get ugly.
Yeah. And I just watched this video where if a shark kills somebody, they try to cold the shark because it gets a taste for human. And then then it's really bad. Well, out of all the shark attacks that they've had, so the numbers that have spiked over the last few years, I told Todd this last year, I'm convinced that it's not an accident, that these sharks are being trained to attack humans. I don't know if they're feeding them to kids that are missing or what the fuck's going on, but I've been saying that, that those sharks are hunting people. And sure enough, this guy in Florida, he's lucky to be alive. I think both of his arms got chewed up by a shark. And some of the videos that we've seen since 2024, they're just crazy. That dude that got eaten in Egypt in the Red Sea, that 19-year-old Russian dude, legs getting flipped upside down in the water. I mean, it's just something out of a horror movie. Those sharks are fucking... I truly believe that there's something is happening. They are, and then the question would, why would they do that? Well, and who's doing that? Well, it's probably the Jews. If I'm being completely honest, it's Israel. It's those Jew motherfuckers. I don't know what to tell you. Somebody's doing it. If you don't believe me, go swimming in the water and find out for yourself. I highly don't recommend the beaches of Florida, Hawaii, California, Oregon. Fuck, man. And when they hit, you're done. It's like 99% of the time, those sharks don't want anything to do with humans. But the one time that they do, you're fuck that, man. I just feel something's up. Now, it could just be like a cycle, like he said, the water's warm and it causes the sharks to go inland, or the food chain's been disrupted, overfishing. I get all that. It could be any of that. It could be the fact that they're farming salmon in those cages off coast. Who knows? I still believe it's more than that, just because of everything else that's going on. It would not surprise me one bit. Think about what that would look like if somewhere on Earth they had sharks contained and they were conditioning them to eat humans. Truth is always stranger than fiction. I mean, like this story, for example. So, Butler, Pennsylvania, when Trump was allegedly had his ear shot, July 13, 2024, the Comperatoris family, the dad was killed, the firefighter was killed. Well, did you guys know that firefighter that was killed at that rally, they were moved? The family was moved. The two daughters and the dad were moved to not the front row, but to a front part of the audience, a section where they were in the front part of the audience, not the front row, but you know how like there's different tiers. They were actually moved to a better section. And then the dad was killed. And the daughters, they're not satisfied. They're not happy with the fact that Trump shut down the investigation. Why would you shut down an investigation to your own assassination? Why would you do that? But it's very odd that those people were moved to a section and then the dad was killed. And then Trump shuts down that's so fucked up, man.
I want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
And if you just seen that video, there was blood splat right there. That was the dad.
Somewhere in between those first and second shots was when my dad pushed me down. My name's Allison Comparator, and I'm Corey Comparator's first daughter. I felt him on me. I was confused for a minute because I was like, why does he feel so heavy? When I looked back, I saw him just laying on top of me limp. I saw what had happened to him. I screamed for him. and I felt like nobody could hear me. And I went to go put my hands on him to stop the bleeding. Everything else was just moving in slow motion.
When the first shot was fired, I actually stood up higher and started looking around because I thought it was firecrackers, and I was looking to see who was doing it. And then that's when I heard like that stern, "Get down." That was Corey.
I heard my dad yell, "Get down." So I was hunkered down in the bleachers. What made me turn was I felt something very warm and wet hit my shoe. And I looked at my shoe, they were white Converse, and they were just soaked with blood. When I realized that my dad had been shot, I wanted to go assist because that's my nature. It's what I do. Medics ran up. I remember them busting through the gate and just jumping over people to get to my dad. I remember seeing the doctor giving my dad CPR and some people jumping in and swapping. I remember the medics picking my dad up by his arms and legs and carrying him down the stairs.
Sorry, I had to go grab some water. It's just crazy. Yeah, no, he did shut down the investigation. And it's crazy, you know, and it's wild that would happen. You know, we are an occupied country, that is for sure. When Charlie Kirk was killed, you know, and Candace just did that podcast yesterday. It was a great podcast talking about the exploding microphone theory. And, you know, she did an excellent job of describing, you know, because the security team, when Charlie was shot, the security team each grabbed a limb and they drug him. They carried him like a piece of meat to the SUV. Nobody called 911. No paramedics came with the paramedic bag. They just manhandled him threw him in an SUV and took off. And this guy is recording, Terrell Farnsworth, the video guy here. But what Candace was saying is that, you know, if there's an exploding microphone under your shirt, you're going to have all that glass and all that stuff. So they were careful with the way they carried him to keep that glass on his body until they got into the SUV. And then, of course, the FBI forced literally the cover up of that, where they came and paved over the crime scene the next day. It was like a couple days after Charlie was killed, they had came and dug it out and paved over it. And the reason why is because it's impossible to get all those little pieces of shrapnel, and a bomb dog would find that stuff. And there is no better technology than a dog's nose when it comes to that kind of stuff. So the only way that you could keep the dog from sniffing it out is to cover that whole thing up, and which is what they did. But this is literally as they're dragging Charlie to the SUV. You can see them dragging him to the SUV. This fucking weirdo. Charlie doesn't get pronounced dead till the hospital. And this guy says he's dead.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie.
That's the SUV right there. They're loading him in.
They just shot Charlie. He's dead. God help him.
You know, and when he's saying that, and he turns the camera, when he's looking at the camera right here, he's wanting to end the video or turn the camera around. Even though you have those glasses on, you can't hide your lion eyes. It's the deception. This dude is such a fucking these people, man. Stone cold murderers. You know, it is an assassination group. And to hear, you know, what it sounds like, and it's like it's their glory. You know, the seconds after they accomplish that mission, the glory in their voice, you know, even though they're trying to pretend they're sad, it's wild, man. This guy can't help himself. He knows that this is going to be global news for a long time, and he has to be part of it. He has to put himself in the frame. And you know, and that is literally going to be the downfall for these people, for Brian Harpool, Frank Turek, Rob McCoy. They didn't keep their mouths shut. They should have just shut the fuck up and not said nothing. But they're so narcissistic that they have to put themselves into the picture. They have to be part of it. You know, why pull off this, you know, assassination of the century if you can't be part of it? You know, I need everybody to know that I was a part of this thing. And that's what we're seeing right here. It's pretty wild. This chick, I think, speaks for a lot of us.
Second of all, it's so funny that he thinks I would give a fuck that he's a Fortnite player. I don't give a fuck. I really, you know, I see sometimes I look around and I wish I could find a fuck to give about you being a Fortnite player, bro. I really don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. Oh, who is that? This little ass white boy kid. Well, I don't even know. Doesn't even matter who it is. Man's talking about when I saw you, what are you talking about? I'll press you by your car. No, buddy. You mean when Lala had the stream off for a whole hour, I'm walking around, you see me, I see you, you said shit to me? Bitch, I don't want to hear it. Bitch, I don't. Second of all, it's so funny that he thinks I would give a fuck that he's a Fortnite player. I don't give
I just think that's funny. That chick just got out of jail. She's got some anger issues. I don't know exactly who she is. She's some type of streamer, but she's always getting in fights. And she just went to jail for some assault or something. This is in Seattle on Aurora Avenue, where it's the worst spot apparently for hookers and pimps. There's like gang shootings up there and pimps shooting other pimps and open prostitution. Although I seen yesterday, man, it better not start flaring up around here again. Just right down the road on 84th. It was bad before 20 years ago. Yesterday, I just seen yeah, it's literally fucking crazy zombie town out there. But anyway, Dunn Lumber is on Aurora Avenue, and the owner of it is sick and tired of all the bullshit. So he's putting banners up. He painted some shit on his building.
Basically, all of the signs are quotes from people who have caught someone in buying sex, someone they cared about, a dad, a brother, a son, a husband. And they're all along the lines of, when I found this out, I was just grossed out. And I don't feel safe. My dad's buying sex from somebody my age. Yuck. It's a pretty bleak message, but I think it's an effective one. I think the intent is just to turn a few people away from buying sex, and maybe to give some hope to the girls who are out there doing it. We alerted customers ahead of time by email, and it was a flood of positive responses. Everyone, good for you. Thanks for taking a stand, etc. You know, it used to be down around the airport. They pushed it out of there. It went downtown. They pushed it out of there. It went up on Aurora. And that's probably been for the last 20 years. But it's getting worse. And as we've reduced the number of police and as prosecutors don't prosecute and judges don't sentence, there's just very little keeping the traffickers and the Johns from doing what they want to do.
The sex traffickers, Mike, may be offended by the sign. They may try to retaliate. Are you concerned?
It's possible. Pimp could drive by and shoot up the store. I don't even want to use my imagination. But even that might work to really get the message out. This is something that needs to be addressed, and it has to be addressed at higher levels.
Good for him. And I feel his pain, because it disgusts me to the core too. And anybody that has sex with somebody that's their daughter's age, you're a child molester in my book. You're just a dirty motherfucker. If you have a daughter and you're out banging chicks her age, you're literally a child molester in my book. Hang those people. Hang them right in front of the massage parlor for all I care. And if the pimps retaliate, it's just too bad we don't have. We need to bring back like vigilantes and fucking the mob and shit like that, man, to deal with that type of shit. If the police are just too corrupt. Oh, we can't do nothing to politicians, then why the fuck do you even work? How do you even look at yourself in the mirror every day? Like what the fuck do you do for a paycheck? You know what I mean? If you're not going to police the city properly, find something else to do. That's got to be a miserable life, to fucking have a job that you can't even fucking do your job. You stand around and fucking jerk off all day. And that's when fucking bad shit happens. You get people with power and then they just fucking sit around and fucking jerk off at massage parlors all day. It's fucking bullshit. Seattle is a disgusting town now, unfortunately. And it's so beautiful, but it's just. Divorce lawyer says a dude won $50 million on a lottery. Second his wife found out, she divorced him.
I actually had a client who won the lottery. And so he went from nothing. He had like a minimum wage kind of a job, and they lived a very modest life. And they were unhappily married, but they were like, well, we, can't really afford to live as a couple. We certainly can't afford to live apart. Like, it's bad enough we can't pay our electric bill. To have 2 electric bills, we'd have a hell of a time. And he won the lottery. He used to play the Powerball, and he won some insane amount. It was like, I don't know, $50 million. So then after taxes, it's like a 50% tax. It was like $25 million. And he was beyond thrilled until he got told, yeah, she gets half. She gets exactly half. And he was like, wait, why? I bought the ticket. I'm like, you are one person in the eyes of the law. If she won the lottery, you'd get half of it. You won the lottery, she gets half of it. That's how it works.
Did they stay together?
No, of course not. She was like, they're miserable with each other. I mean, at that point, he was suddenly very motivated that maybe we should stay together. But she was like, wait a minute, I get, half of 25 million and I don't have to deal with you anymore. See ya. And that was it.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're better off just taking half and take the money and run, because if you stay together, she's just going to manipulate the situation to where she ends up with 80%. That's just how it works. So you're better off just taking so you end up with 25% of your total thing. So you take that ain't even how it works, right? You take the half cash option, that's 25 million. Then you got to pay taxes, which is basically probably half. So you end up with 12.5, and then she gets half of that. So you each get 6.25 million. What's up, Don? Good morning. I think that's how that works. If you win 50 million and you want all of it, they give you half. So that's 25 million, but you still have to pay taxes. And I think you might have to pay taxes on all of it. I don't know how that works. You got to pay tax on 50 million or 25 million. Maybe you only got to pay tax on 25 million. But still, I think that's like 45%. Basically half. So let's say you end up with 13 million. Then she gets half of that. So you get 6.5 each. That's crazy. you know, and that's where people get into trouble, because it's like you see this huge number, but at the end of the day, the final number a lot smaller. 50% taxes. Yeah, I don't know exactly. Let me ask the computer real quick. Let me ask the computer real quick something. If I won $50 million on the Mega Millions, how much money, and I took the half cash option, how much money would I have after taxes? Let's use 24 million cash value as an example. Let's see here. If the Mega Million jackpot was 50 million and you choose the cash option, the first thing you know is what the cash option is lower than the advertised jackpot. A $50 million jackpot would likely have a cash value around 22 to 25 million. So let's use 24 million as an example. Federal withholding, 24% immediately, leaves you with 18.24. However, lottery winnings are taxed at the top federal rate of 37%. So when you file your tax return, you would owe an additional federal tax. Total federal tax on 24 million would be about 8.8 million. Net after federal taxes, 15 million. So a $50 million Mega Millions jackpot would likely leave you somewhere around 14 to 16 million after taxes, taking the cash option. So a little more than 25%. You get like 30%. And they just take it right off the top. What a great, that's who wins, right? In the Washington State Lottery, the IRS wins every time. That's crazy. I heard something the other day too, where somebody offered somebody else money for sex. They were going to offer them $1 million or $5 million. I don't know what the number was. Allegedly, somebody was going to offer something online, a famous like OnlyFans girl. And this dude was saying, in that situation, the IRS is the one that wins, because you have to pay taxes on that. So, you have a dude that has money and, he wants to do something like that. A big chunk of that money goes to the IRS. That's fucking crazy, man, how our government works. They are absolutely criminals. There's no tax on winnings here. Really? That's cool. Yeah, no, they rob us blind here. The slot machines used to be $1,200. After that, you got to pay taxes. They raised it to $2,000. Washington State is the worst, for pretty much everything other than hiking. If you like to hike and look at a mountain, you're in the right place. If you don't like to pay taxes, you're in the wrong place. We got lots of taxes here. Speaking of that kind of stuff, this dirty bastard, Terry Crews, says that his porn addiction was so bad that he would watch it from 10 a.m. till 11 p.m.
I got a day off from the set. I'm usually on location, and I could watch porn from probably 10 o'clock after my workout, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night.
10 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night.
It wouldn't stop, and I couldn't stop. It was what you would call a splurge. Like it just couldn't stop. I couldn't. When day turns into night and you're still watching, I knew I had a problem. It was.
You think, you sick bastard, you're sitting there fucking when day turns to night watching porn? What the fuck? You got to be a sick motherfucker, boy. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's a visual right there. He's cooked. Yeah, that's wild, man. I wouldn't even admit that, dude. I mean, I guess it's going to help somebody else with their porn addiction, maybe. Don't know. Peter Thiel is having a secret society invitation-only retreat, which has been leaked, and some of the names are Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Jared Kushner, Reid Hoffman, Jonathan Greenblatt, not sure who that is, Larry Summers, Cory Booker, and Sam Harris. Jeffrey Epstein was also reportedly interested in this group at some point. The retreat is scheduled for August 12th through 16th at a venue near Dublin, Ireland. So what will they be discussing, and why is Tulsi going to be there?
Why is everybody not talking about this immediately? Let's just go through a couple of the greatest hits. We have self-proclaimed health guru Peter Attia. We have Scott Bessent, the Secretary, U.S. Treasury. Sarah Bond, the president of Xbox at Microsoft. Mike Cannon-Brookes, the co-founder and co-CEO of Atlassian. Michael Bronstein, Chief Product Officer of Roblox.
Oh, that was the best part.
Bronstein, Chief Product Officer of Roblox. Bob Cialdini.
The Chief Officer of Roblox, so it's a pedophile meeting. How can we sex traffic more kids? I see. Now it all makes sense. Riley Gaines and Stephen Miller's wife, Katie Miller.
I think the fracture that we've seen in the right, especially following Charlie Kirk's assassination, number one, it highlighted how he really was like glue. Like he was like kind of the connecting fibers of the conservative movement. And I think if you knew him, you've known that for years. Like he was a coalition builder. I remember at the RNC prior to the election in 2024, like in July or so, it was right after President Trump had the assassination attempt, one of many now, on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania, and watching Charlie behind the scenes coordinate some of the speakers who were there. He was very involved in people like Amber Rose and some of the other unlikely figures who you just wouldn't expect at an RNC convention. A lot of that was Charlie. So I think in witnessing the fracture that we've seen following his assassination, it proved that he really was the glue. And also that without that sort of glue, the bad actors really come to light. And I think
the bad actors really come to light. You mean like this lady right here and yourself? Because nobody knew who the fuck you were, and nobody knew who the fuck you were until Charlie was killed. And Riley Gaines on the surface seems like that she is, good for America. Trust me when I tell you she's not. Neither one of these people are. They are the enemy. They are totally the enemy. They work for whoever those people are that call themselves Israel. This is the Epstein class. That's what their job is to protect the people that fuck the kids in the Epstein files. And they've just hijacked America. They're hijacking religion. They're hijacking education. They're behind everything. They're behind the Pride movement. They're the ones that prop up Hamas. And I mean, these are the bad guys. So, yeah, you are right when you say when Charlie Kirk was killed that the bad actor surfaced. Yeah, you guys. You did. Baron Coleman, the lawyer, this is a pretty profound statement by him. This would be something I might say, but not him. But when it comes to your own kids, you don't fuck around. I certainly don't side with violence, but let's say I understand Luigi Mangione more today than I did yesterday. UHC, United Healthcare, sent us a denial letter for my daughter's recent delivery stating it was determined this service is not covered by your plan because the services were not medically necessary or appropriate. A birth at Vanderbilt Hospital, this was pre-approved to be delivered at Vanderbilt. I'm sure this is one of their auto denial letters of every claim that comes in the door and eventually will be covered. But you guys at United aren't doing yourselves any favors. So, again, that is a wild statement by Baron Coleman. I'll say shit like that every day. But that guy being the lawyer and the guy that he is, for him to say that he understands more today than yesterday about what Luigi did, that's pretty wild, man. If you take the temperature of the room, that's not good. Because we all feel like that. I know I do. JD Vance had he went into the Lions Den and went on The View, which it is very hard to, I mean, we can't stand, none of us can stand The View anyways, and it's just hard to even get through any of these little segments. But I did do a couple. Even Whoopi has had enough with the fucking Mexican bitch on here.
You guys might be skeptical of this, but I promise you it's true.
I have to go to break. Anna, God, please, we have more with Vice President J.D. Vance when we come back. Don't do that.
I mean, I think Whoopi wanted to slap that bitch.
You guys might be skeptical of this, but I promise you it's true.
I have to go to break. Anna, God, please, we have more with Vice President J.D. Vance when we come back. Don't do that.
And she just kept talking. Ugh. Ah. Ah. Can't stand JD Vance, can't stand Whoopi, can't stand that bitch, can't stand none of them. Worst thing he was talking about Cyril Gahn hitting Alex Pereira in the back of the head, and Alex is not happy, and he wants Herb Dean to be fired, the referee, and he's calling out Cyril, because of his dirty shots, and he's known for it. And the problem is here, Alex is a tough motherfucker, but he's a light heavyweight. He's not a heavyweight, and he fought a heavyweight. And that size difference is huge. And then you take the fact that you're letting the bigger dude beat the guy in the back of the fucking head. Uncalled for, man.
Infelizmente, né, aquela mão entrou, aquele jab, como eu falei, peso pesado, né, cara? Então, o soco é mais forte. Mas eu diria assim, um jab de sorte ali, entendeu? Um golpe de sorte, entendeu? Porque se você joga fechando o olho, abaixando, beleza. Pô, entrou a mão, foi ali onde começou tudo, né? Ele começou mesmo a realmente se dar bem, né? Mas um jab de sorte ali, depois ele veio, aproveitou, né? E começou a colocar os golpes mais fortes ali. Pô, quero falar tudo aqui. Naquela hora do jab, caí, grudei nas pernas, né? Fui ali jogando cotovelada, soco. Daí, o cara tá desesperado. Ele colocou uma mão ali que ele nem acreditou, entendeu? E aí ele queria terminar a luta de qualquer jeito, entendeu? E, assim, isso ele sempre faz. Várias lutas, né? Se pegar aí o highlight dele, é o que mais tem, né? E, cara, eu tava tendo, assim, tomando muito cuidado com isso. Dedo no olho, chute no saco. Isso aí não é para acontecer, mas acontece, entendeu? De repente até eu vou fazer isso, entendeu? Mas não porque eu quero, porque, você tá ali, é contato, entendeu? Mas na nuca, velho, soco na nuca, você tá ali, velho. Tem que estar vendo, entendeu? Mas o cara aquela era a oportunidade da vida dele, entendeu? E o árbitro tava ali para ver. E antes, né, da luta, um dia antes, teve uma reunião de regras e tal. Eu chamei o Plínio para traduzir para ele e falei, cara, olha só, dedo no olho, chute no saco, isso aí pode acontecer. Não é para acontecer, mas pode acontecer. Agora, cara, esse cara tem um histórico muito, assim, maldoso, entendeu? De dar soco na nuca do cara, cotovelada. Eu vi isso em alguns vídeos, então me preocupei e fui adiantar isso com ele para ele ficar de olho. Ele foi lá, esse árbitro que estava na minha luta, chamou o parceiro dele lá, um outro árbitro, colocou ele lá como modelo, explicou, colocou a mão, falando assim, ó, essa aqui é a nuca, aqui pode bater, aqui tal, aqui não pode, entendeu? Se você for ver nos vídeos, cara, vários socos ali, várias cotoveladas, entendeu? Beleza, o jab, ok, mas, pô, com tudo isso irregular, eu tava levantando, entendeu? Foi difícil de recuperar, mas eu acredito que se não fosse esses socos aí, dificilmente estaria naquela situação, entendeu? Talvez teria me recuperado, talvez não, mas, cara, foram socos muito fortes, entendeu? E socos ilegais, né? E é isso, cara, é muito difícil, sabe? Você se preparar, se dedicar, entendeu? Chegar ali e, pô, tem um cara ali que tá só pra fazer isso, entendeu? Eu falei falei pra ele antes, cara, eu acho que é difícil, entendeu? Eu me colocar assim no lugar do árbitro, o cara tá ali, me acerta, eu caio. Pô, ele começa a bater e tal. O cara tá vendo que é golpe legal, mas acho que ele pensa assim, como é que eu vou parar essa luta, velho? Mano, é irregular, tá na regra. Você não vai estar errado se você parar. Isso tá na regra. Parou. Oh, não, mas você parou. Cara, olha no vídeo. Ninguém ia falar do árbitro, velho. Pô, o cara foi sujeito ao homem, entendeu? Mas agora ele não foi sujeito ao homem. Ele não deveria estar ali habitando aquela luta, velho. Na verdade, um cara desse, velho, tinha que ser punido. E assim, cara, é um trabalho sério, é um evento sério, entendeu? Pô, isso aí, pô, o cara devia responder judicialmente, velho, entendeu? É a mesma coisa, no Brasil, pelo menos, quando você vê algo assim, uma pessoa, sei lá, batendo na outra ali, vai fazer alguma coisa, você pode fazer algo para impedir e você só finge, fica na sua ali, você responde por isso, velho. Ainda mais um cara que tá ali para fazer isso, ganha para isso, entendeu?
Oh, we're on the mute minute. Yeah, no, I totally agree with Alex. Herb should be fired for that. He won't be, but he should be. You know, that's bullshit. You're letting him hit him in the back of the head like that, especially a heavyweight hitting a light heavyweight. Uncalled for. I don't blame Alex for being pissed off. He didn't even want his translator. He was so pissed.
It's unbelievable. I mean, this country has become so mind-controlled and psyoped and goy-slopped into submission, and anyone who questions the overreaching narrative of the goy-slop becomes a target of the state. They're turned into a criminal. Like UFC champion Sean Strickland. His presence in Washington, D.C., his presence at the White House, the property of the American people, was criminalized because he asked the wrong questions about Israel. Because he made the wrong observations about the foreign country that just humiliated the United States of America on the world stage, he was barred from the event by the Trump administration for questioning Israel. Well, he decided to show up anyways, and then he got arrested. The people in the audience were cheering him on. They were wanting him there, but the U.S. Marshals decided otherwise and escorted him out, tossed him into a paddy wagon, and charged him with disorderly conduct.
We're gonna go right to the stage and we're gonna just fucking rally this motherfucker. Relax. No, just watch. I got you. Hey, relax. Let's do that. There you go. We fucking made it.
Allah, stop going.
Yeah! Let's go! Yeah!
Yo, I cannot believe that, bro.
How the fuck y'all gonna lock up the middleweight chick? Pretty sure I didn't break them all. I'm pretty sure.
The United States Marshals were called in to kick Sean Strickland off of public property. The entire Trump family is making millions upon millions of dollars off of this taxpayer-funded event. They belong in prison, but they're having American citizens jailed for saying things that they don't like and then showing up in the nation's capital city. You're paying for this filth.
Yep. Yeah, you know, and it went over everybody's head, but when that Josh Hockett, the dude that said that Michelle Obama was a man, right before that, he said, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And he got booed. There's like two people that cheered, and everybody else booed in the crowd because they're all Jews. They're all Jewish Zionists that were there. And they don't like Jesus Christ. They don't like black people. They don't like white people. They don't like anybody that isn't them. And they killed Jesus, apparently. I don't know the whole story. but these are the people that killed Jesus. So when you say you want to thank your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you get booed by those people in the crowd. I mean, that's what we're up against. That's what our country is today. I mean, literally, that's no bullshit. They booed him. And then Sean Strickland here, he's been so outspoken about Israel and the Jewish Zionists and all that this is what they do to him. He's a UFC champion. And I don't think he got arrested. I don't think like they didn't Mirandanize him or anything like that. He was escorted off the property, because I think when you're under arrest, you're not allowed to film yourself in the back of the paddy wagon. So unbelievable.
People. What did Black people do to this administration that has allowed it to really stigmatize folks of color? And you know how hard it is. You have folks of color in your family.
Sure.
So when you see, things, the Emmett Till stuff coming down, or them doing all kinds of removal of information of Black heroes, how does that sit with you?
Well, what exactly are you talking about, Whoopi? Because you just I know Emmett Till was the kid. No, I want to know what she's.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Your actual point.
So in a lot of the museums, there's so many. Where they're taking down the actual history that happened in this country. Slavery happened. All kinds of stuff happened. And it seems that it has been very easy for this administration to remove that and also to denigrate Black folks who have worked their behinds off to get this American dream. How do you, you know better.
So Sonny, that was actually a very helpful intervention, because I think the story you're talking about is where, allegedly the administration is holding back the appointments of people based on skin color. I've seen this story.
I'm talking about a host of things. I'm talking about Black history getting erased from public spaces. Black voter districts are being dismantled. Black leaders are being sidelined from our ranks. Where do Americans of color fit in this vision? Because it doesn't seem like we fit.
I think, Sonny, my view,
And if I may, since October of last year, there's been something like 6,668 refugees allowed into the country. All but 3 were white South Africans.
So first of all, I'm very skeptical of that number, because we have a lot of different immigration pathways in the United States of America. But let me just address Whoopi's point. Look, first of all, you asked the question, and maybe you don't believe this coming from me, but I think everybody is welcome in our political coalition. Frankly, even if you didn't vote for us, everybody is welcome in our country, so long as you're an American citizen with the duties and the legal obligations and rights to be here. But Whoopi, let me just give you an example of this. Okay, so you say that we're anti-minority or anti-Black.
No, I didn't say that. I asked. See?
Well, okay, fine. Fair.
Don't start any stuff with me, man. Don't get me in trouble. Don't start no trouble with me.
I misinterpreted your question, but let me answer your actual question there. What I'm saying, I think, okay, look at Washington, D.C. One of the most democratic and one of the blackest, by share of population, blackest cities in the United States of America, has seen a radical decrease in violent crimes and sexual assaults and in murders. We have tried to take the crime issue seriously, in part because we believe everybody, whether you're Black or white or rich or poor, deserves to live in a safe neighborhood.
Why does the crime? Where does the crime step in? This is not about crime. This is about
women lost their jobs.
Right. This is about
Sonny,
human rights.
What you're saying is we got to do more on the economy.
And Black history has been erased from public spaces.
Black history is not erased from public spaces.
Guys, we do have to get to Iran when we get back. Some very important news.
I'm telling you, we celebrate Black history. We celebrate all American history in this administration. You guys might be skeptical.
Yikes.
New milestone, modern warfare, drone boats that can deploy into military action without putting service members in danger. Saw it in action, sort of, about a week ago. Brooke Taylor live in Austin, Texas, with an exclusive look at the company that's making it happen. Brooke, what you find out?
Hi, Bill. Well, a drone boat exactly like this one helped carry out a military first. They operate completely autonomously, allowing the military to carry out these dangerous rescue missions without putting additional Americans in harm's way. Now, Fox News got an exclusive look at it in action. The Corsair here was used to rescue 2 American pilots after their Apache helicopter went down near the Strait of Hormuz, marking the first publicly known rescue mission involving a U.S. military drone boat, and it was built by a defense company right here in Austin, Texas.
The U.S. military does not leave people behind. We were able to rescue them with an autonomous platform without putting additional sailors or soldiers in harm's way. That is a massive, massive accomplishment and opens up a lot of capabilities for commanders moving forward.
The CEO of Saronic says instead of relying on remote operators controlling every move, these vessels can be designed and assigned a mission and then carry out autonomously. And you could also do more than one vessel at once. And here's what's next for them. The Mirage, it's a 52-foot autonomous ship, more than twice the size of Corsair. It can travel further, carry more, and stay in the fight longer, opening the door to bigger and more complex missions.
China can outbuild us 230 to 1 in terms of shipbuilding capacity. What that means is you actually don't have a deterrence in place without the types of capabilities that we're building here at Saronic.
And the CEO says it's not just about technology, but being able to build autonomous vessels like this quickly by the thousands and at a fraction of the cost of traditional warships.
I mean, I think the real story there is how did that helicopter get shot down, or 2 of them, and why all of a sudden, why do these always go in streaks? 2 U.S. Army pilots were pulled from the water after their Apache helicopter went down near the Strait of Hormuz. Then we have the Oliver guys' helicopters crash, and the B-52 bomber that crashed and vaporized. I love when the planes crash into the ground and then there's no plane there. Like, how does that happen? Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the Pentagon, these planes just vaporize. This is just weird. Baron Coleman discovered that Blake Neff used to work for Stu Peters, which is just really fucking wild. So Blake Neff used to work for Tucker Carlson, got fired for being a racist, and then was working for Stu Peters and then eventually for Charlie Kirk. And it just makes me think, like, you know, these writers, people that are writers, you know, writers are very important. They get paid a lot of money. I think writers are some of the most secretive and important people out there that work for these companies. And there's got to be a lot of people like Blake Neff who are deep state actors who go into these companies, multiple companies, and work for them and can steer the global narrative. You know, they get into these positions where they can just help, you know, move agendas right along. And what's even weirder is the fact that Stu Peters is kind of downplaying it, that he didn't mention that. Like, yeah, I think you should have mentioned that, buddy. You know, like, if you want your credibility to be intact, you got to bring that kind of stuff up. You know, we all wanted, we were very interested to know that. You know, it may not be a big deal, but the fact that you did not say anything about it, it's just a red flag. That's all. We will be watching closely, Stu.
records. The majority of people that ICE is rounding up and taking out of their homes from their families, they're separating families. They're using children as bait.
But
the majority are not criminals.
But can I respond to that, guys? Let me just say this. Okay. So you talk about the children. Here's what I'd say. Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands of children who were sex trafficked by the cartels, who were brought into our country in profoundly dangerous and predatory conditions?
Let's talk about this administration.
But here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of conduct. You think that our immigration policies are inhumane based on the reporting of one person with a political bias. What I'm telling you is that it's inhumane to allow cartels to sex traffic people across our border. And by the way,
please hold on.
I appreciate that.
Hold
We're gonna get
on.
you back, Anna.
We're coming back with more with the vice president.
Man, you know, these. I'm so glad I don't watch that fucking show. You know, this lady with her arms folded right
Please
here.
hold on.
I appreciate that.
Hold
We're gonna
on.
get you back, Anna.
We're coming. We're
With her defensive posture right here. And whatever little fucking hand signal she's doing down there. You know, you give these people an inch, they take a mile. Next thing you know, it's okay to be butt fucking boys and, you know, all the bullshit. I'm so sick of their fucking fag flags and the pride nonsense. Just stick it up your sister's ass already, please. You know, our country's occupied by murdering, rapist, pedophile fucks. Jewish, Zionist, fucking Scientology fucks. But good God, if you have to choose, I would rather deal with those guys than the other pedophiles. Which group of pedophiles do you want to, you know? At least JD Vance doesn't walk around in a diaper. I mean, if Tim Walz became vice president, he probably would have walked around in the White House in a diaper.
I was surprised at how tall you were. It's very
Well, if you
tall.
only see somebody on TV, you just see their, in my case, giant heads. So
We all
it hides how
have
tall
giant
I am.
heads,
That's right.
we are the table of big heads here.
So this is a show of MAGA Republicans, right? That's what my media team told me. Okay, good.
Well, we'll find out.
I was surprised at how tall you were. It's very
Well, if you
tall.
only see somebody on TV, you just see their, in my case, giant heads. So
We all
it hides how
have
tall
giant
I am.
heads,
That's
yeah.
right.
And the funny thing is when you look at the View, you know, this is supposed to, the illusion is that it's like left, that they lean left, but they don't. This is the definition of a puppet master. You know, the View, they're Jewish Zionists. That's what they are. Look at Joy Behar. They all work for the same people. They all work for the same people. And you look at the View. Look at the V. Look at that's just an extension of the Jewish Star of Solomon or the Star of David, whatever it is. That satanic symbol they use, their upside down star. That's part of it. It is absolutely just one point of that star. So it's just an illusion that these guys are not on the same team, because they totally are. Patty Pimlet calling Taporia Whitney Houston and a little bitch for giving up.
Oh my God, you're gonna quit? Oh my God, you quit, you little bitch. Justin Gagey, man, the ultimate spoiler. What did it tell you? I said he was gonna win, didn't I? Oh my God. Oh my God, you quit like a little bitch. My face was worse than yours, you little pussy. Everyone give me shit for getting beat by him. What now? What now, lad? Greatest fighter of all time, Ilia Topuria. You fucking gang of gobshite. I went 5 with him. I took every fucking shot that he threw at me. and kept walking forward. This little bitch has just quit after 4 rounds. That's what this little bitch has just done. Look at him sat on a stool. I kept fucking walking forward at Gagey for 5 rounds and didn't have an ounce of quit in me because I'm a proper fighter. Ilya, you quit on the stool, you little bitch. Whitney Houston. That's what you are, you little fart box. Oh my God, you're going to quit? Oh.
Yep. Fighting is a brutal sport, man, especially when you're in a fucked up relationship. I know pretty much any time one of these guys has a relationship issues, that fucking fall off the map. Look what happened to Ian Gary. He was the future. Then he became a cuck. It's hard to concentrate on a fight camp when you're worried about your old lady banging the team. Victor Marks.
I'm not a nice person. Oh, you're dangerous. I've seen so much death. I've worked in enough countries. I know the signs. Like I had a team in Israel,
of course,
days after Hamas attack, and ended up seeing the worst of everything. That was another complete, like, the boots I wore, I walked in so much blood of children and Gaza, Hamas.
Yes, we all have. We all have at one point in our life walked in so much blood of children.
I would say, because I was doing Fox hits or Fox News and some other ones, but I'm like, they're like, tell Israel to stop, American people, free Palestine. I go, how about just tell Hamas that's occupying the Palestinian controlled area, stop shooting rockets over here. If you're losing, if you're dying, if kids are being, stop shooting rockets. Oh, kids are starving. You got, I don't know how much money they put into weaponry, but they still haven't run out. It blows my mind. I mean, it blows my mind. One day we were there, babe, wasn't there like 2,000 rockets in a day?
Oh, yeah.
My wife still has her app of when rockets are dropping. I'm like,
what kind of rockets are?
2,000 rockets in one day, motherfucker. Let's do the math on that. Let's say that it was going for 12 hours, 10 hours. That's what, 200 rockets an hour? So that's three rockets a minute, 4 rockets a minute. Kaboom! Every 15 seconds there's a rocket for 10 hours. Get the fuck out of here, Victor. You got to be fucking shitting me.
So are they?
They're typically they're ones that they have it built where.
But the reason I'm asking is you said 2,000. I'm going to Google how much one of them costs.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think what.
These are the ones that can't be around.
Yeah. Iran is where most of them came from, but they're not handheld or shoulder fed. The ground will open up, something will rise, and boom, 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 boom. They're firing them out. I have a piece of a rocket here at our training center I brought back that was fired on our location. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So,
yeah, that's what we're thinking too. You got to be kidding me.
There are different sizes, but I'm telling you, it's hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I'm reading about, so there's something called the Arrow 3 missile that's a $2 million a piece.
This dude is going to be a fucking governor, man. We are cooked. Absolutely cooked. What do we got here? This is kind of cool. You're at a fancy resort when the help is shoving huge blocks of ice into the pool. 1 block for every person. Never seen anything like that before.
the Iran deal, the great peace deal that the President of the United States made last night. Number one, what this deal means is that the Straits of Hormuz are open immediately. You're already seeing oil and gas prices come down just over the past 24 hours. Number two, it ensures that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. And we have to back up for a second and appreciate that what the president has done is completely decimated Iran's nuclear program. Now, this deal really has two pathways. On the one hand,
no, what you guys have done is completely decimated our pocketbooks. And if you think that lowering the gas prices $1 when they went up $2 is going to fucking make us happy, it's not. You dirty motherfuckers. Fuck you, JD Vance. You're not winning the presidency, dude. You can fucking go on The View. You can fucking scrape the bottom of the barrel, dude. We're not voting for you. I personally am going to fucking campaign against you. I don't give a fuck who wins. I'd rather vote for AOC and Bernie Sanders than your fucking dumbass. I'd rather vote for Gavin Newsom and Hunter Biden than you. Anybody. We have to punish these people. Anybody but JD Vance.
If that's what Charlie was thinking behind the scenes, and 3 weeks before that tweet, Charlie's at a dinner with Erica and she's pushing him in that direction.
So this is just wild. After all the research and everything and watching videos and these guys putting all this timeline together, they can prove that Erica was anti-Israel. We did not know this because Erica was not in public before Charlie was killed. Nobody really knew who she was. She was anti-Israel, and she was pushing Charlie to be anti-Israel. She was pushing her husband to be anti-Israel and got him killed. Then she turned and went pro-Israel. Think about that for a second.
If that's what Charlie was thinking behind the scenes, and 3 weeks before that tweet, Charlie's at a dinner with Erica and she's pushing him in that direction, that's a dark option D. That's a very dark option D. Now we have grieving innocent widow off the table. We have to start asking hard questions to Erica. Every press person in America right now should have a question into Turning Point USA. Miss Kirk, is that accurate? Did that conversation happen? Now, don't troll the trolls, Andrew and Blake. This is not the time to troll the trolls. This is the time for a direct answer. Yes, she did say it. No, she didn't say it. And I think until we get that question resolved, the ball bounces in favor of Candace Owens right now. Did Erica do that? Did she say those things? Was she promoting anti-Israel statements at dinner in July with Charlie? Was she pushing him that direction? And if the answer to that question is yes, she's wholly unqualified to be the TPUSA CEO. She needs to be removed immediately. Immediately. Not because of anti-Semitism, but because of blatant dishonesty and potential complicitness in his death.
Yeah. Obvious complicitness. Eric Trump got busted for messaging Daniel Cormier. Do you have any inside information? Are any of these fights rigged that I can bet on? Then they're trying to play it off and saying it's AI. He and Carol proved it wasn't. And so what gives? These motherfuckers are so addicted to gambling in the White House. And, you know, they can't play fair. They got to have an edge. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Today, really. Quote, I think what we are seeing tonight with UFC and the White House and everything is a lot simpler than you might imagine. It's just gambling addiction. Dana White is a known gambling addict. So are most of Trump's cabinet and his family. If anyone has ever known gambling addicts, this is their behavior. It's an exponential curve towards higher and higher stakes with this fiendish energy that usually ends in complete disaster. It's more addictive than crack. And if you actually look at all the deregulation of Wall Street and the new trillionaire Mars data center nonsense, it's all just manic and very basic gambling addiction. There's a reason every major religion, including Christianity, and every other successful nation has always either banned gambling or heavily restricted it. In many Eastern traditions, they say that the Kali Yuga is partially defined by everything being gambled on and becoming completely corrupt. And he pairs it with the photo of the Nitro Circus, because he's not just talking about actual, like, literal gambling bets. Really perceptive take from Owen Benjamin, just about the whole situation, about the whole state of the world today, really. Quote, I think what we are seeing tonight with UFC and the White.
So true. Absolutely true. You know, and it's just sickening to know what is coming down the pipe for people for gambling. You know, it's fucking crazy town. But the fact that those guys are doing that, you know, and you look at put that into context that Alex Pereira is pissed off and he wants Herb Dean removed as referee because he let him beat the shit out of him in the back of his head. And you got Eric Trump saying, where's the inside information? Was the inside information on the Alex Pereira fight? It's fucking wild, man. The 71 Jewish schoolgirls that showed up out of a tunnel, where the official story, including the mayor, said that they got lost in a culvert. They went down a sewer tunnel. They were at a national park and they just went into the entrance. This streamer goes down there and shows you where the entrance is. And there's no way 71 Jewish schoolgirls went in that fucking thing.
Sewer tunnel, cave, Munchlandian nonsense. So you mean to tell me 71 Muncie girls hopped on these rocks like some sort of Munchlandian hopscotch? I don't know. I'm just going to describe what I'm feeling over here. The energy is a little off, all right? I'm still trying to map out how the hell 71 Muncie girls, Munchlandian to be exact, made it up here. They wear long skirts, they move Munchlandian like. I don't see them climbing up here and going here to explore. What type of Munchlandian exploration was taking place? I'm trying to figure it out. It smells like shit. A lot of dookie water, a lot of nasty Munchlandian. It's not smelling good. How did y'all not smell this and turn back around? I don't know. Let's figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, 71 of y'all, let's keep adding that up. 71. Why didn't the 57th one turn back around? Why didn't that happen? I'm trying to understand how all 71 of y'all went here. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Yeah, I don't buy it either. Never did buy it. And it's not only that. New York City, they found people down in the sewers. They're stuffing mattresses down there. They're doing their little blood-stained mattress fucking shit down there that those guys like to do. Who fucking knows? Who knows what the fuck's going on down there? But something's up. Something's up. Former Israeli intelligence officer Ari Ben says Netanyahu is about to release the real Epstein files in an effort to sabotage the peace deal.
It is by putting out Epstein material against U.S. government officials, including Trump.
Yeah. Check out this dirty motherfucker. This dude, man. Who is he? Some high school students were defrauded out of $400,000 for a canceled European trip. Local authorities took direct action. Sheriff Mike Chitwood and the victims confronted the agency owner at Daytona Beach International Airport. Each traveler paid $3,500 for a 9-day trip to Italy and Greece. Just a month before the departure, Goodwin emailed the group to announce the company was going out of business and could not offer refunds, then shut down his website and communication lines. $400,000 this dude stole from these kids. And now they got a chance to say something to him as he's handcuffed coming off the fucking plane.
To face with his alleged victims. Right after the suspect stepped off an airplane, this is what he was met with.
You are a scumbag.
At the bottom of the escalator stood Sheriff Mike Chitwood and one angry crowd. Robert Goodwin is accused of scamming students and their families out of hundreds of thousands of dollars for a trip to Europe. He was extradited back to Volusia County today to face his crimes. And Fox 35's Larissa Leone is live at Daytona Beach International Airport tonight. So Larissa, you were there to watch all this happen live this afternoon.
Yeah, Luann, it was quite the scene here at the Daytona Beach Airport as all eyes were on this escalator right behind me as it carried down Goodwin.
A long ride down the escalator for travel agent Robert Goodwin as he comes face to face with the students and families he's accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from.
I hope he thinks long and hard on what he did and he realizes how many lives he has affected. We are a community, and just because we live in Ormond or Daytona Beach doesn't mean that we are rich and we have money, but we stick together, and I am proud of all the kids and parents who came out here tonight.
Goodwin had a few words to tell the community after arriving in Daytona Beach.
Very sorry and innocent until proven guilty, and hopefully this will all get fixed. So, how are you going to fix it? I can't say any more than that.
But for many Seabreeze families, that sorry is not enough.
He should have said sorry a year and a half ago. He replied to no emails, no communication. We didn't know what was going on.
Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood says he has cause to believe Goodwin is not innocent.
His fingerprints are all over it. What he opted not to tell you was he confessed. I sent detectives out there. He told the detectives exactly what he did.
He's been captured and we've been brought to justice, and this won't happen to any other schools.
Melissa Heller shares
That is so fucked up to do that to those kids, man. $3,500. Man, if somebody would have scammed my dad out of $3,500 for a school trip, he would have fucking murdered somebody. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad they got him. What a fucking piece of shit. How could you do that to kids for their trip? Dirty motherfucker, man.
Incentive that can be assigned to that conversation. It was him venting the frustration of what happened to Sass, him being a friend to Charlie and Erica, and the amount of pressure that Charlie was under because of his speech at Sass. And it was us discussing the shifting viewpoints of our friendship. Okay. No one had an issue, a question mark, or anything about Erica. Tucker loved Erica. He was like, she's hardcore. He also said she hated the pastors that were around him. Right. What that means is that Erica, as the wife and the confidant of Charlie Kirk, was pushing him to be more anti-Israel. This is why it troubles me. Okay. I want you to understand this. She was pushing her husband to be more anti-Israel. The very thing that the majority of the world believes killed him. Was she speaking on the other side from both sides of her mouth? She then goes with him after she has this dinner with Tucker. She goes with him to the Hamptons and sits across from Bill Ackman at dinner when Bibi Netanyahu is called. She's playing both sides and pushing her husband to be anti-Israel, the thing that the majority of rational people believe killed him. Okay? The majority of us believed that him turning against Israel killed him. And then after he dies, rather than asking any questions about Israel or telling us the truth about his shifting viewpoints or telling us the truth about her shifting viewpoints, she does a complete 180 and says people that ask questions about Israel, that's brain rot. I accept the Tyler Robinson narrative. I'm partnering further taking over his company and partnering further with pro-Israel narratives and pro-Israel pastors who I told Tucker Carlson that I hated the pastors that were around him. Erica was anti-Israel in July before she went to a pro-Israel summit at Bill Ackman's house. None of this is clocking.
Fucking wild, man. That is fucking wild. This fucking dirtbag clown. He's on his last fucking attempt to save himself. He thinks that it would be a good idea to have a roast of Benjamin Netanyahu.
So I have a crazy idea for Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel as well as the world. If you like it, tag the world, share with everybody. If not, just move on. I think the world needs a comedic roast of Benjamin Netanyahu, sitting right in the middle with the greatest comedians in the world from America, from the Middle East, from Egypt, from everywhere, just making fun of Benjamin Netanyahu for 2 hours, just like they did with Trump many, many years ago, just like they did with Tom Brady. And Tom doesn't like stuff like this. Neither does Trump, but they took it. And what happened? All the people that hated Brady, they moved on. All the people that hated Trump were like, let me go to the next person now. I think the temperatures are very high. What's going on there, what's happened there, it's terrible. It's not slowing down. People are going back and forth. Why not create a setting for people to say everything they want to get it off their chest? So nobody sits there and says, well, I feel like there's nothing I can say about Israel because if I do, I'm going to get canceled. Here's your opportunity to come and say whatever you want to say. Number two, here's Israel's opportunity to say, listen, we don't walk on water. We also have issues.
We don't need a roast to speak our mind about Israel, you faggot. Okay. We speak our mind about Israel all the time. We don't need a roast of Benjamin Netanyahu to do that. Okay. You can go move to Israel, and why don't you go roast Benjamin Netanyahu? How about that, PBD? Okay. Why don't you just leave America? I mean, that would make me happy. Just get the fuck out of our country. Take your fucking whatever. He is the weirdest looking motherfucker.
What is no longer an open question to me is what was he doing in those intervening years, or at least the intervening months? Because I got a tip. On the show, I kind of asked the question, what was he doing before he went to work at TPUSA? And I finally got a tip. And they said he was working for another content creator. You should look into it. So I did. And I found nothing. I asked around. I could find nothing. So I go back to my source. What content creator are you talking about? Because I keep looking. I've asked around. I can find nobody. And they said he was working for Stu Peters. But what is no longer an open question to me is what was he doing in those intervening years?
Stu Peters, very interesting. The Boy Scouts are retiring flags here in Washington State. I too was a Boy Scout when I was younger, for a little while. Was fortunate enough to not encounter any pedophiles, although they probably were there. Now that I think about it. And so, I like the Boy Scouts. I just, obviously they've got some fucked up shit going on there. And so every time I see the Boy Scouts, I just kind of scan the crowd. Potential pedophile right there.
I would like everyone to hand salute. Color Guard, please retire this up.
Would really like to know what the Boy Scouts is really all about. Is it sex trafficking? Is it a genius program to find the brightest of the military early. You know, like what is at its roots? What is it? What are they really doing? What are those sick motherfuckers really doing with the Boy Scouts? Apparently, the FBI uncovered a drone assassination plot. Somebody was going to use a bunch of drones to kill people at the White House.
Explosive-packed drones hitting buildings near the event, forcing a mass evacuation and steering crowds towards a pre-staged sniper team. A second wave was then planned to storm the White House gate. The FBI first learned of the threat last Wednesday and worked with law enforcement across multiple states to stop it. Joining us now on the phone, former FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino. Dan, thank you for getting on the air with us. What else can you tell us? This is quite a frightening and sobering discovery.
Well, notice the class warfare language amongst the plotters there that appears in this early stage to.
Explosive-packed drones hitting buildings near the.
Dan Bongino, that's who you bring on there. I didn't even know that. Thought he didn't work for the FBI anymore. He's former, right? Does anybody believe anything the FBI says? I mean, seriously, at this point in the game, if you're completely honest with yourself, when you hear Jesse Waters say that the FBI uncovered a terror plot for a drone assassination attempt, do you really believe that? I know I don't. And at this point, I don't care because I know who's doing it. This literally is the thief steals from you and helps you look for it. That's what this is. You know, the people that are causing all of this fucking chaos and violence are the same people that are running the show. Literally. Shannon Sharp goes off on Josh Hawkick for calling Michelle Obama a man.
At the White House and decide to finish with an interview calling Michelle Obama a man.
Yeah, that's why I said, man.
I mean, bro. You did, and I'm glad. I didn't see it because I didn't have any sound on, but right. I was, strolling through Twitter, and then I saw that I like, damn, he said that on thing, and then I got it. It didn't get the response that he hoped that it was going to get. I mean, so now you take that platform. So I just want to make sure. I want to make sure there's a certain network that says athletes shouldn't, don't bring sports into politics into sport. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. She happened to be low-hanging fruit. They know that woman, she's not that, but it's good. Just like they know that man was born in America. And the man that pushed that. Now, they hate lies and they hate conspiracy theories, but they pushed one for over a decade. But that was cool.
The thing is that Josh Hawkitt, I know he was paid to say that. He didn't just decide to go, Michelle Obama's a man. That was his everything that he said in that interview, he was paid to say. He wanted to thank his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, which he did. And it gave those guys a chance to boo. That was totally part of the plan. And then Michelle Obama's a man. This is what these people do. This is Turning Point USA and the people that killed Charlie Kirk. This is them. These are the people that took over our government. The Miriam Adelsons, the Zionists. This is how they act. This is their ideology. They think most people below them are just like basically animals. That's why it's legal for them in their country to rape people and kill people or whatever. They can do whatever the fuck they want, basically. So no normal American is falling for that bullshit. They're preaching to the choir with that shit. They're trying to start a race war, and it's not going to work. You put that dude on with a American flag bandana on his head, and it's supposed to fool the American public into thinking that, oh, he's a good old redneck American. No, he's not. He's a paid actor. Gavin Newsom, almost in tears, announced that him and his wife are now under investigation by the DOJ for stealing billions in fraud.
In recent days, federal agents have knocked on the doors of family, friends, and former employees, not because they found a crime, because they're simply trying to find one. They're demanding records. They're abusing the grand jury process, digging through
CG2, good morning. Hope you're doing well.
years and years of random documents. Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because I'm.
I don't think anybody wants to hear Gavin Newsom cry, but apparently he is under investigation by the DOJ. Mr. B says that no one will ever make a better video than him because he works every hour of every day trying to improve on everything he does all the time.
Don't realize just how much influence the top YouTube channels have.
No one's ever going to do what I do better than me. Like, it's just not, it's not even humanly possible. Like, I reinvest every penny I make.
Yeah.
I work every hour I'm awake. I devote every atom in my brain to solving this. I hire the best people on the planet. I've been doing this for 14 years. And I think in decades, not years. So I'm going to be doing this for another 20, 30 years, not 2 or 3. So no, the next me isn't going to be me because no one's going to do what I do better than me. It's not possible. If I thought someone was doing better than me, I'd just start sleeping less so I could work even more. Like, I'd figure it out. I don't give a-
The barrier to entry to be you is extremely high.
Yeah.
Right. Especially where you're
Well,
at
it's just
now.
because I'm all in. I'm crazy. Like, people shouldn't be me. I don't have a life. I don't have work-life balance. My personality, my soul, my being is making the best videos possible, entertaining my fans as best as I can. Like, that is what exists on this planet. And I don't recommend it. You know what I mean? Like, you should have work-life balance. You should not devote your entire life to this one thing. Like, go have fun. Like, you know, I'm miserable a lot of times. I have a mental breakdown every other week because I push myself so hard. Like, I don't recommend it.
So true. I mean, not a fan of Mr. Beast, but you can't knock the hustle. You know, he's doing his thing. And that is what it takes to be successful.
Acá tenemos un poquito lo que ha pasado. Víctor es 1-2. El alcance. Manos pesadas para Justin Gaethje. Con el jab fue lastimando mucho. La derecha. De lleno, espectacular. Esas manos pesadas realmente entraron muy bien. Una y otra vez. Topuria también conectó las suyas. También lo puso en peligro. Lo lastimó el cuerpo. Oh, linda rodillita. Muy bien. Muy precisa. Trabajo demoledor.
Sí, sí, entendimiento del deporte. Dijo que su madness era un madness controlado, una locura controlada, porque decían en algunos que no tenía metodología. Nos dimos cuenta que sí fue y aquí está el momento.
Brutal. Another B-52 crashed right after takeoff at Edwards Air Force Base, California. And there's no plane. This is not the crash. That was from, I think, 94. But the wreckage, they show that there's no plane. So did Israel take that plane down? More than likely. Because remember when I can't remember exactly. I was like back in January of 2025 when there was the plane and the helicopter that crashed into each other over the river. There was the helicopter that crashed into the Potomac, and there was the Mexican air ambulance that came down in Philly. There was all these crazy, and then the fighter jet in Alaska, all within like a couple weeks of each other. Boom, 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 boom. Then you don't hear nothing like that. And then all of a sudden, all this weird shit starts happening again. So, I don't know. Yeah, this is the collision of the two helicopters in Rio de Janeiro that killed that Oliver guy.
It's the bullfrog trying to eat a pool dude. Get on, Jet.
I've never seen that in my life. I didn't even know you had it. Oh.
A bullfrog trying to eat a bird.
Woodburn, Oregon right now. We are with, in the background is Ryan Beckham drove from Canby to Woodburn to meet a 13-year-old girl, admits to buying gigabytes, in his words, of child pornography, and has had accusations of molesting children in his own family before, and admitted that he wants to have sex with who he thinks is a underage kid. Of course, we don't condone any of this. We're reporting this to the cops. But yeah, we've been waiting for the cops for 2 hours here in Woodburn. Unfortunately, due to the liberal policies in Oregon that have literally 2 babysitters for thousands of people, aka cops, and then they import literally just endless fucking people, not even from this country, to just come cause trouble here. There are no emergency services available to go apprehend this pedophile who's literally been sitting here with child porn on his phone for 2 hours. So Woodburn, this is fucking disgusting. Or the state of Oregon is fucking so poorly ran. This place is a fucking beautiful place turned into a fucking dump. And people like this, Oregon has the most sex offenders per capita. He's not a sex offender yet. But people like this are able to just walk free with little to no punishment in this state due to these crazy policies. So please share this. Again, this is Ryan Beckham of Canby here in Woodburn right now.
Unbelievable. A fucking child molester, and the cops aren't even coming. It is just fucking sickening. Tijuana River in San Diego County, they are dumping raw sewage straight into that river and chemicals. So the San Diego River, whatever that river is down there, I don't know if it's the what do they call that river right there? The Rio Grande or whatever. They're dumping raw sewage and forever chemicals in there.
15 miles up the coast, you've got Coronado, the Navy SEALs elite. So today we're going to show you what's going on with this unbelievable, disgusting scandal that's been going on for 35 years here in San Diego, right at the border, the Tijuana River. That is Tijuana. See that big Mexican flag there? That's the other side of the border. If you look around here, you can actually see the border wall. Everything you see on that hill, that is Mexico. Just here, you see a concrete channel. That is the Tijuana River. The water that's flowing there, that is raw sewage, human sewage from Mexico coming into our country, our state, and then it's flowing out into the ocean. And 13 miles up the coast, you got Coronado, the Navy SEALs Elite Training Center. Our Navy SEALs are swimming in raw sewage from Mexico. There's signs all in this area called Stop the Stink. Most people, when they come here, they wear masks. They gave us a mask to wear. It's not just that you can smell it, you can kind of taste it. You can taste the chemicals. You see that foam there, that white foam? Those are forever chemicals, because it's not just human sewage, it's also toxic waste from industrial plants in Mexico. This goes into the air. There's testing facilities there. See those white tents? They say that the level of toxic chemicals in the air, thousands of times what is the safe level. It is just an absolute disgrace. Border Patrol agents, I mean, you've seen it when they open their shirts. They've got rashes on their body just from operating here. Their boots are melting. To think that this is America. You've got people living around here. They can't open their windows because of all the toxic air that comes in. Trying to grow produce. You've got ranches. This is a laugh. Tijuana River Valley Regional Park Bird and Butterfly Garden. I don't think anyone's going to come here for the beautiful bird and butterfly experience. You talk to the people here, Democrats, Republicans, the local mayors and city councilors all say the same thing. The starting point for fixing it is for the governor of California to declare a state of emergency. If this isn't an emergency, I don't know what is. And he won't do it. Gavin Newsom won't do it. That is my commitment. I will, on day one, declare a state of emergency for this outrageous situation. Raw, untreated sewage and toxic chemicals from Mexico flowing into our state. It has got to stop.
52 Stratofortress, the bomber that was downed today at Edwards Air Force Base in California. As you guys know, I'm like an aviation person, enthusiast. So, but okay. I saw a few people coming online and they were kind of hypothesizing that maybe, I mean, I heard that Israeli Telegram was claiming responsibility for this as though they had done something with this. These people are sick. They're demonic. But I don't know if there was any foreign interference that would have caused this. But I did want to mention, I saw some folks hypothesizing that this could be the sort of thing that like a directed energy weapon could maybe cause. And I just wanted to kind of, make sure that there's not like misinformation.
When a lot of people hear somebody say something like that, directed energy weapon, blah, 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 kind of goes right over their head. But she does a really good job of going in and looking at the flight data, and she can show, where the problems occurred at what altitude with the plane. And it's really interesting to look at that because it completely goes off radar, meaning that shit was melted or fucking disabled well before it hit the ground. It's pretty interesting. But I'm going to stop it there because I need to get in the kitchen. I'm going to go make a chocolate cake. I decided before I go back to bed for a little while. So I can let that cool off and make some cupcakes in a jar with some chocolate ganache, I think is what I'm going to do. So I appreciate everybody hanging out. CG2, you guys have fun at the orientation and have a good morning. And I will talk to you guys all later.